Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, your favorite. Um, I'm here. Um, I don't know. I was, as you may or may not know, I was dying from coronavirus. Like I don't know, 2 weeks ago. When I took this like 6 week break that I couldn't get my shit together whatsoever because I just everybody's falling off ill. Anyway, I had a guy email me. He had found my show and was pretty stoked on it. And he also does podcasts as well, but for different genre of music, which I wasn't real familiar with because I don't pay attention to anything but whatever I'm doing at the time. Anyway, so I figured I was like, what the hell? In true fashion, just like Paul Neal had me on his podcast, I was like, yeah, we're podcasters. We interview other podcasters because like that's what you do, I guess. So without ado, from monsterriff.com, we have Pat. Pat, what's up?
Hey man, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, great to be here.
Now, as we were talking before, like I said, I was definitely not familiar with the term stoner rock at first. I had to like definitely, I was like, huh. I'm like, because I definitely smoke pot, you know what I mean? The stoner part I have down, but like the other parts, I was just like, nah, I don't. Like I said, there's so many genres now.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard to keep track of them. And like over on my side, like we have like on Monster Riff, we cover like so we'll go like stoner, psych, fuzz, a little bit of doom, but like it's so hard to draw the line in between those and then like other genres too, because like we got like sludge and like other stuff, and I don't really get into that territory, but sometimes there are bands that like straddle that line, and you have to make that decision, like, am I going to cover this or not? Right.
Yeah. Does it make it difficult at times to like, I don't like, where do you
For
draw
me,
that
it
line?
does.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm, like, reviewing an album or if somebody, like, is like, "Hey, Pat, like, we just, like, released this album, like, we'd love if you covered it." Like, my general rule is, like, if your album kicks ass, I'll review it, right? But, if it's outside of my comfort zone, I can't give it a fair review because, like, if you submit a sludge album, like, I don't get it. Like, I don't really appreciate it, right? And
Right.
so I can't critique it properly other than to say that, like, "Hey, this isn't my jam," and that's not really fair because I think that if you're gonna critique it, like, you should understand the space, and you should understand the conventions of that genre to be able to say, like, "This is good," or "This is bad."
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Like, I don't know if you've ever listened to, like, drone metal, like, I don't get it, but, like, I understand that people love it, but I can't tell a good drone song from a bad one, you know?
Yeah, I remember being younger and, like, I didn't get Slayer, to be honest with you. When I was a kid, like, it was so fast and everything that I was just like, "This is just, like, a bunch of jumbled shit together." Fast forward, I get to 12 or 13, start messing with guitars, whatever, I hear it and I'm just like, "Holy shit, it's just really good stuff, like, in warp
Mhm.
speed," you know what I mean? And, like, the when
Yeah.
I got it, though, but I understand what you're saying with you know what I mean? Like, I can't you know what I mean? If I don't understand it, like you said, you're just not fair
Yeah.
to judge it, I don't think either.
Right, and I to your point, like, I think it helps sometimes to have that little bit of, like, education and background. Like, for me, I just recently got the right gear to start playing, like, more Doom, like,
Mhm.
and just having it in my hands that way makes me appreciate it more. And so, like, I'm starting to listen to a little bit more doom metal just because, like, okay, I get it, and I understand the appeal for, like, playing it, and so let's go listen to a little bit more, you
What do
know?
you play?
What do I usually play, like, guitar-wise?
Instrument, yeah, or instrument, do you play
Yeah, I
guitar?
play guitar, yeah.
Okay, I play bass.
Okay, cool,
N
yeah.
yeah, and
My, my brother just recently gave me his old bass, and so I've been, like, messing around with that a little bit, and it's fun.
yeah, I had stopped playing for, geez, almost 5 or 6 years. Well, no, I had that little stint in that country band that was really great, just kidding. But, I played for like a year and a half in there, but I once we got all that awesome COVID money and stuff, I just went and bought like a brand new Fender P bass because 'cause I'd never bought a, brand new guitar before. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm doing this and man, it is like just brought life back. Like, I just wanna play all the time now. I play every
Mhm.
day. And then I
That's
got,
awesome, yeah.
yeah, I actually played a show with 2 guys in New York there a couple weeks ago. We started our own band now, but so
That's
that's
awesome.
nice. Yeah, I'm glad to be back in it. Now I'm like, how long you been doing this for?
Monster have stuff for a couple years now, um, and the podcast really only started maybe last summer.
Yeah, I saw you
Um,
what, the 10 episodes in?
yeah, about 10. I've been trying to do, like, an episode a month,
It's
and
tough,
I'm
man.
surprised. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of
Yeah,
work.
it's a job, man. It's a definitely a
Yeah,
job.
and, kudos to you for doing it, like, with the video component too, because that makes it even harder.
Oh, dude, like, and I say this the 10,000 times. I have a guy that's right here, like, he knows dude, I can barely turn on my phone sometimes, like, I'm just I'm not there. He's the man, but, like, without him, like, I don't know. But I originally started, like, we were just using one of those apps or something on the phone, like, the first one I did. It was like a Anchor, I think it was,
Yeah.
and we just did audio or whatever, but I don't know, the video thing makes it I don't know, it makes it more personal, I think, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you definitely know who the person is, like
Yeah. And like I aspire to eventually do the video, and I think it's one of those things where like I just need to pull the trigger, I just need to like nut up and like pull the trigger and just do it. But it's extra work, and even if you have that team, like you have that infrastructure, and you have to build that. But anyway, great job.
Well, no, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I don't know. I'm lucky that even I don't. This whole thing has just been weird. Like not weird, like in a very good way. You know, just the contacts and there's everywhere. I don't know. I mean, it got me a job at a record. Just all kinds of shit. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's crazy how much stuff it opens up.
Yeah, and
Just like having something that's yours like that.
and like I don't. You know, then you have Nick and I have we started a screen printing business and stuff too, off of it. And it's just, I've been mostly screen printing for the bands that I've been, had on the show and stuff. It's just worked out very, very well so far. So that's, whoever thought, I don't know, just, we're from a town of like 2,000 people. I was like, whoever thought anybody would even watch this? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it
right?
always blows my mind.
Yeah, that's how it was with, Monster Riff, um, it started off, very different than it is today, but I work in, marketing by day, and I wanted a project that was just like an SEO project I could just kinda dabble with at home outside of, like, client constraints and stuff,
Hmm.
and, a wonderful and problematic byproduct of that is like people notice and they start asking for stuff. So like the first time like a band sent me their album and requested a review, I was like, I've never done one before. Like I don't know what this is. But you do that over and over again. It's like you've probably seen like you start to build a little community around you, and then one thing leads to another, and then you're starting a podcast, and you don't know how to do a podcast, but you're figuring it out, right?
Yeah, and I had a guy on a different podcast interview me, and that's what I kind of say. He's like, so do you go in and plan? I said, no, I don't plan anything. I said, I just wing it all. Like even the conversations, I don't write down questions or anything. I'm like, if we want to talk about it's wherever the conversation goes. Like, I just
Mhm.
think it makes it more natural too.
Yeah.
Like
It's definitely a skill, I think. Like just being a host, I think to a certain level just requires like I don't know. Like it's hard for me as like an introvert sometimes to like carry the conversation. It also helps to have a really good guest as well.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Like there was no names, nothing. But we had this fun time. Nick and I had a guest. Nick and I do a podcast too. And like this guy was blowing me up for days before, man. I mean days. And then like we get to the time to do this, and he's just stone. He was like Stonewall, didn't say a word. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. The funniest interview I had. Have you heard of this band Delco Detention?
I have not.
Cool band out of Delaware County, Pennsylvania. So like
Okay.
further east than you. Um, but it is this 10-year-old guitar prodigy and his dad, and they're just like playing stoner rock tunes and stuff, and super cool band. Um, it's Adam and Tyler Pomerantz, cool band. Definitely check them out. But
10 years old?
10 years old, and he's just like shredding. And what's really cool was quick backstory. They were doing covers of this band Clutch.
Oh, I
Um,
know Clutch, man. I've
yeah,
seen
yeah,
Clutch
they
like
were
seven
doing
times. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they were doing Clutch covers, and they were releasing them on Twitter. And Neil Fallon, their front man, just happened to notice,
Oh
and
shit.
he was like, "Well, you're doing all these covers. Like, why don't we do a cover together? Like, you can play a Clutch song, and I'll do vocals over top of it." And Adam, the dad, was like, "That's cool, but Tyler has a song he wrote, and he would love to record it with you." And at first, Neil was like, "What did I get myself into?" And then he listened to it, and he was like, "Oh shit, like Tyler can write a mean riff." And so like he helped them kind of like figure out how to structure the song and like rearrange a few things. But they have this video with Neil Fallon, and Neil Fallon they did it during COVID. So like Neil Fallon's just like in his workshop, like in his shed in the backyard, like singing, and then it cuts over to like Tyler and his dad. But Tyler's like a phenomenal guitarist, but he's like 10, right? And the first time I interviewed them, I was trying to like ask Tyler questions, and it wasn't going really well. And I was like, man, I'm usually like usually my interviews go pretty well. Like, what's going on? And then it clicked. I was like, oh, he's a child. And he
Yeah.
like he plays the guitar so well that he seemed to he in my head he's much more mature. Uh,
Yeah.
but like now, and I think that was also like one of his very early interviews as well. And now, like when he's in an interview, like he's very vocal and like carries a conversation and stuff. But like,
Yeah, I don't know, can you imagine? I don't know, I can't imagine being 10 and being interviewed, man, like, it's like,
oh,
that, you know.
I just like want to go ride my bike. But for him,
Yeah.
like he just wants to be down in the basement, right? Just shredding.
Dude, that's so cool, Neil Fallon, like, he's I don't know. I grew a beard because of Neil Fallon at one time in my life, like,
So
dude's
funny.
badass.
He's just a great dude. There was one show we went. I think it was a show out in here in Pittsburgh. He like stopped the concert at one point. I guess there was a kid who'd been like getting jostled around in the front row, and he had security lift him up over the barricade so he could like watch the show safely.
Oh,
And
that's so
then like
cool.
yeah, I was like, that's cool.
One of the coolest moments of my life, I remember we were at Riot Fest, it was, like, 2018, I think, out in Chicago. I took a train out there by myself to hang out with people, like, I met 3 months ago at a different festival, how safe, but, ended up being okay, but it was, like, the 2nd or 3rd day, Bouncing Souls played, I remember, and all my friends went to watch, like, Suicidal Tendencies, something like that, and I don't really get into them, but, I watched the Bouncing Souls and, like, walked 2 stages over right into a clutch zone. I'm like, "That was one of the coolest things ever, just leaving the Souls right into a clutch, like, that was badass."
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And
Yeah.
they're so good live too.
Yeah, dude, they used to play the Crowbar over in State College all the time, 2, 3 times a year, man, like, they were
Yeah.
heavy hitters there.
Well, they used to tour like relentlessly.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, what a great band. Yeah, that one I definitely know for sure. So where is the kid and his dad out of, did you say? Delaware County?
Yeah. So like right outside of Philadelphia.
Okay, okay, I wasn't real sure where that was, that makes sense now. There's a lot of good stuff coming out of there, man. It's a hot pocket of music right now.
Yeah.
The whole state really though, man, like, I've never seen I don't know, me personally, I've never seen the punk scene like this at any point in my life. Like, never ever have I seen anything like this in my life. And it's real I don't know, even being 38 now, it's like, this is cool to be a part of?
Yeah.
It'd be much
Yeah.
cooler if I was 22, but
No, I mean, I can't I understand, like, I can't appreciate the feeling you must have, being, like, a punk fan, but, like, I totally see where you're coming from, like, every time I see, like, a new stoner rock album drop, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, like, this is."
that's what I was getting at earlier. But that's the metal thing and the depression. I stopped listening to metal all the time because my buddy was like, "Listen to punk, man. It's little the lyrics are more positive." And that's what actually got me that's what I was trying to get at. And totally like just spaced it. Yeah, I do that all the time. I'll be talking like, "What the hell was I saying?" Yeah.
Yeah, your mind just, like, wanders off in
Oh,
different
dude,
directions.
it's the worst. Like last 2 years, it's gotten like I'll probably have dementia by the time I'm 41. Like, so I don't know. What with Monster Riff, do you plan on doing any like more stuff? Did you ever put on shows or anything like that? Or
Maybe eventually. Um,
yeah, it's a
it
lot of work too.
Yeah, yeah, I would love to do, like, a mini festival or something at some point. Um, it's already gone through one existential crisis. Last summer, well, I guess 2 summers ago now, so summer of 21 or 22 or 20, sorry.
But you're good,
Summer of
man. It's
20.
been all 3 years for me. It's not the same.
Right, like, it's all a blur. At some point in that blur, I was, like, trying to figure out the next move with Monster Riff, and I was thinking about maybe doing a label, but I was like, I didn't really have the cash on hand to do that the way I would have wanted. And then I was like, well, I already have all of this traffic coming in from the reviews. It'd be kind of cool if we could just like sell band stuff like merch and like CDs in at the bottom of the review. And I sent a few surveys out to a few bands in the scene, and they were like, "That's cool, but like we're already getting so many sales to the Bandcamp, so like I don't know if that's really necessary or anything." And then I went and actually like talked to a lawyer about it too, just about the logistics, and he was like, "Don't do it. Don't do it. Like it's going to be so expensive, and like you're not going to make any money off of it. Like don't do it." I was
No.
like, "All right, I'm not gonna do that." And then I was talking to another friend. She's a band manager out in like Greece in London, and she was like, "Why don't you just, like, do, like, a podcast? Like, if your end goal is to get more exposure for the bands, like, you can start a podcast through Spotify, and if you embed the song into the episode, that'll count as a play for them. So, like, if you get enough hits onto the episode, then, like, you can help them get more exposure that way." And I was like, "Oh, shit, like, that seems like a pretty good idea." And so I started the podcast thing, and, yeah, so we're, what, 10 or 11 episodes in now? Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it weird? I don't know. Like I'm 38. I'm single. I don't have any kids or anything, and like I just devote my entire life to this music. Like that's just everything is all. It's all about that. Even making the merch stuff was just like
Mhm.
I want to make band stuff. Like that's
Yeah.
I just
It's
want to be around it.
invigorating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, it's just
yeah,
it's a great feeling. Like I don't know else to explain it.
yeah. It's like, I don't know, man, like, every episode I do, I just come away feeling inspired. Like, even right now, just, like, talking about music, like, like,
It's,
super jazzed up,
no,
all I
same
wanna do
here,
is
man.
run over to the studio and, like, jam on my guitar, right? Like, it just
Yeah,
feels good.
yeah, yeah. I think just because I think I don't know, it's a positive thing. You know what I mean? I think all the people that most people anyway that are around it or involved, like it's a positive thing. Like, and until you do something to really screw up, everybody will have your back for the most part,
Yeah.
unless you do something really dumb.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Speaking of which, if you're in Pittsburgh, my band's playing out there April 9th with a couple other bands at Porky's and Etna. You should come out.
Okay, yeah. I love going over to Edna. But, yeah, I'll be there.
All right, man. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like our first actual show as a band too. So it'll be
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah. Have you ever been to Porky's?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, dude. It's a good spot.
yeah, yeah.
I go there quite often.
We used to live, right above Etna. Or actually, my wife lived in Etna for a hot second. Do you know where Big Mike's is?
I do not.
Oh, Big Mike's is, on the end of town, basically, and I would come out to visit her, and she'd be, like, getting off work late, so I'd go down to Big Mike's, have a few drinks, and then she lived at the top of the hill, and so when she was on her way home, I would just, like, run up the hill. I'll tell you what, running up a hill drunk is a lot better than running up a hill sober.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Do you ever do the Millville Music Festival?
Yeah, we went, a few years ago, I think. It was really cool.
We went last year, man. It was great, but like finding parking, holy shit, man. That was like
Real bad.
that. Oh my goodness. I've never seen, I think it was like almost an hour it took us to find somewhere to park. But dude, I don't know, it's still great. You
Demoralizing.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
Yeah.
through this, I became friends with, the Filthy Lowdown that's from out there, and they play Porky's all that's, like, their home spot, so I always go down to see them there, and then just I don't know, the Riot Squad girls been putting shows on there, and, like, Steel City Destroyers, that's, like, their spot too, so they always put shows on there too, and just
Mhm.
I've met a lot of good people in that bar, man. I don't
Yeah.
often say that either, you know?
No, that's a really cool spot. The food's really good too.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, man, the barbecue chips, oh, just incredible.
Like, I don't even live over there anymore, but I follow them on social media just so I can get pictures of their food.
So, dude, I'm
Just like
3
it.
hours away, and I do the same thing.
But no, the music scene out here is pretty tight, and, they always have, like, the festivals going on, and there's so many good venues around here too.
It really is, man. Like, I don't know. It was not like that when I lived there, at all. Like,
When did you move away?
I moved back here, 12 years ago. So
Okay.
I was there from I think 2005 to 2010. And when I look, like even the punk thing, like a lot of bands were like didn't put out any albums in that period of time. Like it was kind of dying off because of the emo and all that other shit coming
Yeah.
in. So like, what I mean? The stuff I listened to, it really wasn't, big. I remember, there was a couple, metal bands that were big there, like, they were called Hero Destroyed was a big one I remember watching, but they got signed and then, like, I moved away and I never heard anything about them again.
Mm.
But
Yeah, you also kinda missed excuse me. I feel like the Pittsburgh, like, renaissance that's going on right now happened, like, right after you left too. So I don't know if you've seen I guess you've been back, but I think the city's gotten a lot better since
I
you
uh, I think so too. Yeah, honestly, it feels even, like, a lot cleaner, like, just better looking, better, like, oh, and I mean, even downtown and stuff like that. Because 'cause I've
Yeah.
definitely been back, like, oh my god, I can't even count how many times, but, yeah, I don't know, I'd much rather spend time down there now than when I lived there, I'll say that much.
Yeah. Yeah, that says a lot.
Yeah, and I just remember, like, there wasn't you know what I mean? You have choices now to go see shows, like, and it was just like, okay, there's one show here and one show there, and that's you know what I mean? That's it, like, out of music I wanted to listen to anyway.
Right.
Eh
Well, yeah, and, um, through multiple different, like, email subscriptions, there's always cool stuff happening at Mr. Smalls. There's always obviously stuff over at Stage AE because that's what it's built for.
mhm.
And then like everywhere else in between, there's constantly and like I can't afford all of it, you know?
I know, I know, I know. He wasn't even there when I was there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that was like, was that Burkettstown or whatever the hell it is where the amphitheater's at, like, that was, where everybody was driving and stuff, and I haven't been there, I don't think since I think 2004, I was at Ozfest there. That's where I saw Slayer. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, the original lineup of Black Sabbath, that was tight.
You caught that.
Yes, I did, man. Yes,
That's
I did. My
amazing.
buddy wanted to leave right before Black Sabbath played, and I'm like, "I will slice your tires, man. Like, no way is that happening." Like, we've been here all day. Like, I've been drunk for
Yeah.
12 hours. It was only 20, I think. And I'm like, "There's no way in hell I'm leaving now. Like, there's just
Yeah.
no way."
What was it like seeing them live?
Incredible. Yeah, like, and I'm not the biggest Sabbath guy, but I also don't hate. You know what I mean? If there's, that's that era and stuff like that. Definitely one of my favorites. But I mean, just they're incredible, dude. They were like, because I mean, Judas Priest played before that, Slayer before that. Like, they had some heavy hitters to follow up, and they just, they just proved why they're Black Sabbath. Like, they're just,
Yeah.
yeah, that was just one of the ones that I was like, man, I'm glad I witnessed this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
like yeah, I never saw Pantera, and that's the one I just kicked myself for, like, every day of my life. I'm like, "Damn."
Did
We
you
go back
ever
and
have
watch
an opportunity to did they ever roll through
n I
town?
they were played in Pittsburgh at, like, the Burgettstown,
Mm,
and it was an early Ozzfest. I wanna say it was I would think I was in only 8th or ninth grade, so it was kinda, like, out of the realm of doing you know what I mean?
yeah.
By the time you're a senior and stuff, it's you have a car, or you have a license at least, the things are more accessible then, even if you're not supposed to go to a city 3 hours away, you go, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that was the only Ozfest I was ever at, and that one was definitely incredible. That's, Phil from Pantera walked off stage that day. They were playing with Super Joint Ritual. I think they played 2 songs, and he was like, "Pittsburgh, you suck," threw the mic down and walked off, and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, dude, he was such a hothead. That's the only like, you know what I mean? That's why half the reason Pantera's not there anymore, or, wasn't there. It's just now I think he regrets a lot of it because now he's touring around covering all that Pantera stuff. It's like, well, I have a tough one with him because I used to think he was the best front man ever, and I'm just like, "Man, no."
He's made when you talk about, like, not doing stupid stuff, like, he's done some stupid stuff.
Exactly, man. Some really stupid stuff, you know what I mean? I Did you see, like, that stuff he did, like, the end of that Dime Bash a couple years ago?
Mhm.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
You
there's,
know?
like, no time or place for that.
No, not at all, man,
Yeah,
and why? Why'd you even
yeah.
say it? Like, just stupid.
Right, right.
Yeah. Well, like, I tried to look up Superjoint, actually, it was a couple days ago on, Apple Music. And him and the drummer, I guess, had this big falling out, and, like, the drummer owns, like, the first album, like, their first album, because it's not on so they operate under just Superjoint now, not Superjoint Ritual, and I'm like, "Man, I didn't know any of that happened," you know?
Wow.
Yeah, like, he must be a dick. Like, that's all I could think, like, you're on that many bands and just I don't know.
Yeah, and it's so unfortunate because he's influenced so many bands,
Oh my god,
and
dude.
he's been in so many like, Pantera was incredible, Down was incredible,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
everything seems to crash and burn.
Yeah, and like I said, now he's doing this illegals where he sounds, but he sounds so like he's and not that I'm anybody to say this, but like, dude, it might be time to like, looking to hanging it up because it's just not. It doesn't sound good anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like screaming for 40 years or whatever, and you're 60 and chain smoking, like it's not. You're not going to sound the same.
Right. Right.
Even I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl or did it. I don't watch football at all, but I did watch the Super Bowl for some reason. I was like, oh, something to do. So I watched the halftime show, and I'm not much of a guy in rap, but like I like Dre, and you know what I mean. That was when I was growing up. That was cool. But even Dr. Dre, because he had that brain thing, aneurysm, whatever, last year, like you could just tell it was not. It didn't even sound like him. It was strange.
Yeah. Well, I don't really watch football either, but I try to watch the Super Bowl just to be part of, like, the zeitgeist every
Right.
year. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
but, like, the halftime shows, especially in recent years, have always bothered me because instead of, like, playing a concert, they're often playing, like, a mashup. So, like, one song will bleed into the other, and it kind of feels like they're just kinda going through the choreography, and I'd rather just kinda, like, see the show.
Yeah,
I wanna hear the mistakes, I wanna s
it's
and
live.
yeah, right, I want it to be live, and, I missed it. I missed all of it this year, and I had to catch up,
Dude, I'd actually say that was one of the better ones I've seen in a very long time, to be honest with you. And, like,
yeah.
that is not my style whatsoever, but I just remember the one year I think it was J-Lo and somebody else, because again, we always watch the Super Bowl. Oh, that Shakira lady. So, it was
Mhm.
those 2, and I was like, "Man, they should've" it was in Miami, so I'm like, Gloria Estefan and Miami Sound Machine, they'd have blown these people away. Like, why didn't they get the gig? Like, they're the
Mhm.
Miami Sound Machine. How did they get the Miami gig? Like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
They're just yeah. I make '80s jokes all the time. Nobody gets them because 'cause I'm old. Yeah, I just retired from the restaurant world, like, today, so
Congratulations.
I guess so. We'll see what happens, but yeah, but after 22 years of that, like, I'm good. But I'm
Yeah,
yelling all
your
this.
time.
Oh, yeah. Oh my, dude. Oh my. It's probably aged me 46 years, like,
It's rough. It's
oh,
hard.
yeah.
Um, even, like, I don't think people appreciate the physicality of the restaurant business.
No
Like,
way.
you're on your feet all day, and if you're like, whether you're in the kitchen or you're running tables, I mean, you're gonna walk, like, 6 miles in a shift, and you don't really get a chance to sit down.
You don't get a lunch, you don't get a break,
Yeah.
like
Right, and if either you're, like, walking, like, 6 miles, or you're walking 3 miles in, like, 120-degree humid temperatures often.
yeah, and in my case, if you're on a line or something, you're walking in 3 miles in a square this
Yeah,
big, I
yeah,
mean, it's just like,
yeah,
"What the hell?"
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a rough business.
I don't know, when that whole pandemic and that, couple years, like, I don't know what the hell happened, but something was in me was just like, "I cannot work for anybody anymore, like, I can't do it." So, s bought a bunch of screen printing crap and went at her. It looked
Yeah.
like fun. I don't know, I didn't know like, I'm not artsy, I can't draw stickmen or anything, I just jumped into it, but it's been working out so far so good.
Sometimes that trial by fire is all you really
Dude,
need.
that's yeah, you just gotta live by it almost, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. That's like, I think that's true with so many things, like, I have I have, like, all of these friends that have, like, really great ideas, but they never, like, jump and, like, try it out. It's like, "Dude, you just, like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. Like, please just go for it. Just go for it." But it's so great to see people, like, just going for it.
yeah, dude, and I was never a person myself to, like, do this whatsoever. I never wanted to be like a I'd always been like, that sounds like a gamble, we don't wanna mess with that." Now I'm just like, "All in, dude, throw it,"
Yeah, yeah, right?
But it's
Yeah.
been working out thus far, so I can't like I said, just for somebody that just started, gambling with everything, I'm just like, "Yeah, what the hell?"
Yeah.
So,
That
it was what do you have, any big things coming up with Monster Riff or anything like that? You wanna get out there?
Oh, yeah, well, so here's a I don't know when this will actually be published.
It'll be this coming Saturday at 10 a.m.
Okay, on Saturday. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
So, next Friday, which will be the 4th, March 4th, I'll have a new podcast episode. It'll be a bonus episode with a nonprofit called Fostering Music. They're from Indiana County, Pennsylvania, so like northeast-ish of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Fostering Music is this awesome nonprofit. They help kids that are in or have been through the foster care system get instruments and music lessons, and they like cover it all of it 100%. And so Christy Stitz, who's the founder of Fostering Music, she was just on the show. So that episode will be coming out next Friday, and we're trying to raise $400 for an electronic drum kit, and it'll go to two kids in the same home. They want to get lessons, and I guess the thing is that like a lot of these parents don't want like an acoustic drum kit in the house,
Yeah.
so they go for the electric 'cause, a little bit quieter.
And the
Uh,
headphones, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we'll be trying to raise $400. So
So how you
Chris,
gonna raise it? As, like, donations or what?
yeah, do donations. And what's cool is when you go to the Fostering Music website, then you go to their donations page, like you can like choose whatever number amount you want to donate, but they have it broken down exactly how far your dollar amount will go. So like $25 is like one lesson, $200 is like an acoustic guitar or a violin. And so they break it down like that so you can see exactly what your money will go to. And then you have an option to do like a monthly donation. So if you wanted to just say like, hey, every month pull $5 from my my
Yeah.
credit card or whatever, like, you can set that up. So Christy's setting up a page just specifically for this fundraiser.
Well,
Um,
send me the link for that. I'll, share it too. We'll see what
I
we can do.
appreciate that. Yeah. So I've been like super excited about that. This year I wanted to find more ways to make Monster Riff more impactful throughout the community. Like it's cool to like write about bands and promote bands and stuff like that, but to actually have an impact on somebody's life like that, I wanted to make sure that Monster Riff started doing more. You know?
No, that's cool, man. You seem like I don't know, you seem like kinda like what I'm doing, just kinda
Yeah.
go out and do a positive thing, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As much as you can anyway.
Yeah, and
No
I mean, we've the kind of like the one theme through all this conversation, right, is that, like, it's awesome talking about, like, bands and stuff, but, like, music has such an amazing power, right, and to be able to gift that to a kid in need, I think is the coolest thing.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I was doing, I think I did 2 or 3 of them, but I was just taking old beat up instruments and just doing what I could with them, you know what I mean? And then it just, you know what I mean? I'd sell 'em back to a kid or whatever, they're just dirt cheap. Like I just put new strings on it, whatever, just take it. Yeah, I don't know. I just like seeing somebody pick up a guitar or something than a game controller or, just
Mhm.
because I don't know. I just think the music, it makes your mind just go, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, and
it does.
especially, like sorry, go ahead.
No, it just does amazing things. I don't know, man. It does something to you that I don't know. Like you being on stage, like I've dabbled in drugs many, many times, in my younger years, and like there's not a drug on this earth that can ever compare to being on stage, like in front of people. Like just not.
Mhm.
Like it's amazing.
Yeah, and I think just, like, um having having just like even a handful of lessons like can really help open up
Oh,
the instrument. And like even like I've been kind of like self-taught for the last few years, and I'm not like an incredible guitarist or anything, but I can like play through a few riffs and stuff. um but I met with a friend recently, and he gave me like a handful of lessons on like just guitar solos, and that like opened up a new portion of the guitar for me,
yeah.
and now I'm playing like 3 times more than before.
Right? Do you hit a wall like being self taught? Like I felt like you hit a wall to where it's just like, all right, where the hell do I go from here? And you almost like, in the same thing with me. Somebody
Yeah,
showed me some stuff, and it's like, oh well, if I can do that, I can do this, and I can, you know
yeah,
what I mean? It just Yeah,
yeah.
and it's like, I don't know, it's so cool. And, like, even with the people too, like, oh, if I met him, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just everything spirals out into this big spider web of coolness.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I never even wanted to be a podcaster. So, like, I don't know, it is as odd as it is, here I am, but, I think this is what, like, 30 some episodes deep or something, but 32? 7? Oh, yeah, 37, yeah, so,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's been cool, man. Like I said, I definitely enjoy it, so but, I wanna thank you for coming on, and dude, keep in touch and stuff like that, you know what I mean? If we can help each other out, I mean, by all means, doesn't have
Yeah.
to be the same music, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this has been an absolute blast, and I will send over the link to the
Yeah, dude,
fundraiser here.
I'll share the shit out of that on everything I have, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, and like I said, stop down April 9th, get a beer.
Yes, yes, I will make a note of that because that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, it's a Snipped and Coffee Line, there's a bunch of good bands playing down there actually, so, uh,
Sweet.
yeah, this bill's full, but dude, I appreciate it, and, we'll talk soon. Like I said, keep in touch.
All right, that sounds good. Take care, man.
You too, buddy, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. And that was Pat from monsterriff.com. Go check it out. He told me the stoner do or the stoner rock and all that stuff. Got Black Sabbath heavy influence. And as you heard, we were talking, like, I like Black Sabbath. I seen them way back in, oh my God, 20 years ago. 20, what year was that? 2004. That was a while ago, 18 years ago. So yeah, I was a lot younger and better then. But anyway, you know the drill. Buy the ticket, take the ride. We'll see you next time.